Alright, mune Zimbabwe. So, nyaya yevanhu vekuputsigwa Dzimba ne-HCC, Harare City Council, it's a very serious issue. It's a very bad issue. You would ask yourself, Harare City Council, Zimbabwe government, whatever, these guys, they have resources, they have time. Yekunoputsa dzimba dzevanhu rather than actually planning right from the first place, rather than kuvaka maroads, rather than kununga marara. Nejopo mone anenge achitiudza zviri kwanzi marara mazoita nungai marara kumbari kwakasviba kwesoko, mpedza nhamo kwakasviba kwesoko, tichipinda kuma different neighborhoods muHarare makasviba. Itai basa iroro, nungai marara, clean the streets, fix the potholes. Musati maisa maresources kunoputsira vanhu dzimba, because that is very bad. Muri kunoisa maresources kuisa mari kudira mabulldozer fuel kupa mabhadhira madrivers mari dzekuti vanoputsa dzimba dzevanhu, but there is a lot more that needs to be done mucity and zvamusiri kuita. But ndisati ndapinda pathat story murezima pana pamuzinda wevanhu kubva kuvanhu by public demand, the Mutapa Times paYouTube, Inside Africa Network TV paFacebook, neni wenyu super Nexus. Let me get into this. I watched the full interview ya Yevaya but the Danny J show, and I noticed something. And what I noticed there is a very important thing. First of all, Yevaya admitted to some of the things. Hanzi na Yevaya even before ndanopa my good vekuzayoja my good President Mnangagwa wakatonditiwo rangarira chirikadzi yaya unoibatsira unoita sei. That is revealing kuti whatever Yevaya is doing, President Mnangagwa is behind. And then the second thing I noticed is that Zimbabweans, a lot of Zimbabweans, when they called to the Danny J show, when they talked to Yevaya, chavanga vachichaga from him is advice. How do we become like you? How did you make it this far? How? Which is mentorship, which Chivayo exclusively said, na time yekupa maZimbabweans mentorship, yekudzidzisa maZimbabweans how to make it like he did, which brought me back to the conclusion yekuti mure Zimbabwe, of course, what advice would Yevaya give you except to say, yeah, I am a chosen one, I am a lucky one, it's grace dzandibatsira dzandisvitsa pano. Why? Because it is probably true. There is no secret business plan, there is no secret business strategy, there is no secret hustling spirit, secret hustling strategy in Yevaya's tricks or whatever, except bootlicking the boss and then you get something. Yevaya hana any good business advice he can give a Zimbabwean, and it's a good thing that he actually didn't. Hana kupa any business advice because he is not a businessman. Mune Zimbabwe, I want to say this. I have to say this. I have to get into this for my people to understand. I almost loved the Danny J show interview yaitwa Yevaya recently, but then I noticed and learned and taken real advices from it and taken real facts from it that Zimbabwe, Yevaya is a proxy. He is playing for Mnangagwa. He is in this game as a proxy of Emmerson Mnangagwa, and it's obvious. He said it himself, and we all have to accept it. He's not a great businessman. He talked about something. Let me get into this. I'll come back to the real headline, but let me talk about this because this is important. Yevaya talked about tricking the people, tricking the nation. You fake it until you make it. But unfortunately, we cannot build a nation on that concept. That concept works if you are one rapper, two rappers, make music and you're faking it until you make it, right? Hanzi, paneka mota kachi, Nissan chakazudaro, whatever, kandaisevenzesa kandaipiwa keumwe mfesi, angari military, aimupa, anonzi Yevaya, actually, bamkuru wake or some uncle, or whatever. Aimupa mota, inezitari kuti Yevaya, and why shandisa that car, achipina ma streets, achivataridza mapepers, so this is my car, and he was young and whatever, and he gained trust from some other local businessmen in Zimbabwe, he gained trust to the extent that waipiwa ma-cell phones ekunotengesa nechikwereti whatever, and he says it's competitiveness because he was able to deliver. And then he goes on to say, he's blessed, it's grace, it's whatever. But he's not pointing out something very important to Zimbabweans. Why is he not pointing it out? Kuti, guys, ndine skill rekutaura nevanhu. I convince people. I am a very social person. I am able to, I have marketing skills on a natural level. He's not saying these things because if he says that, he's scared kuti Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa unozofunga kuti mfana ndiri kukupinza madhiri, ndiri kukupa madhiri, and then when you go out there and say it's your skill, it's your talent, it's your own ability to convince people to woo people, to market kutengesa chinhu. He's not telling Zimbabweans this truth kuti Zimbabwe, you can develop a marketing skill. No, to him it's wakasarudzwa, it's grace. Uri kunamatigwa nevanhu kumasowe, uri kuita sei. He's killing Zimbabweans on a mental level. Ari kuuraya muri Zimbabwe, ari kuita vanhu matumbu zenene, ari kuita vanhu maduzman, because he's making us as Zimbabweans believe kuti his success is tied to grace, nyasha, when he knows exactly it's tied to his maneuvering ability, his ability to talk to people, to convince people, his ability to connect with the president and make the president of Zimbabwe his friend, make the president of Tanzania his friend, make the president of South Africa, make the president of Nigeria his friend. It's a hustling quality, it's a hustling ability, but he will not say that to Zimbabweans. Why? Because he is scared. If he say that, if he praise himself, President Mnangagwa will cut him off from deals. Now, Zimbabwe, you yourselves might have been convinced by the interview I to her Yevaya, but you can see that interview has got nothing to do with Zimbabwe. It's got nothing to do with the ordinary Zimbabweans. Kungo kudadirai sema ordinary Zimbabweans. Kungo kuma irai sema Zimbabweans. You understand? Why? Because the guy is not about to let go of the secrets. He's not about to let go of the real advice. But because he's a proxy, ari kutumwa kukambena on behalf of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. A lot of Zimbabweans who come from different churches, even kumasowo kuri kuinda weekend Yevaya, uko kwaangura akuza, kwaangura ati kana une problem uya kumasowo, kana ukane chakati uya kumasowo, advice, business advice uya kumasowo, etc. People from Masowe, they're my people. When you next panapa mzinda wa vanhu, I understand. Kuti people are being tricked into thinking kuti somewhere somehow hanzi mukuru wemazuva, it's a prophecy yakabva kuna John Marange, and then is connecting kuti mupostori uchaita sei, mupostori uchatonga nyika, which is also revealing kuti Weekend Yevaya has got an ambition within him yekutonga Zimbabwe, and he is trying to make that ambition get connected to what John Marange prophesied. So Grody, mapostori ese are supposed to vote for Weekend Yevaya whenever the time comes. And now, Zimbabwe, there's a lot to say about this, but I will say it in another video. For now, let me get into Nyaye vanhu Vekuputsigwa Dzimba yatiri kuti new twist. So, Zimbabwe, Jacob Mafume, mpana we-opposition, anova the mayor we-Harare, the city of Harare. Kana Harare City Council ichita zvinhu, inenge yawana maorders kubva kuna mpana Jacob Mafume. Takazviripota panapa mzinda wevanhu the Mutapa Times, ndikati Zimbabwe pane vatita tip off vachitira iwe Nexus udza maZimbabweans kuti ikaka kampana Jacob Mafume aka zvakanaka ka Jacob Mnangagwa kamwana kaMnangagwa, and then vanhu mucomment section vakachiti iwe Nexus tagara tichiziva kakafanana na Collins na Sean too much, toziva kuti kamwana kaMnangagwa aka chidynasty chiri kuitwa apa but tiri kuvhagwa etc, right? So it's Tatango reporter, and then people were like, yeah, it's true, but it's just Tatango reporter. So, right now, chirikunzwa nyaya yekuti kampana Jacob Mafume kari kutora bribes. Pamuri kunzwa imi pachizonzi panoitwa a demolition, paputswa dzimba dzakavakwa. And as of right now, we have seen on social media, our influencers, Panyaya good vibes, Chichichi, they have come out and said, with documents, actually, with proof, Harare City Council, the recent demolitions that were done, Harare City Council actually gave those people permits to build. These people are people who consulted the HCC, the Harare City Council, and they were given permits to say, yes, pamuri kuvaka pari right. But all of a sudden, nzimba dzavo dzakuputswa pasinazvo. And it's painful, it's bad, and it must never happen in a country of Africans, and which happen to be ruled by Africans. The president is African, the political party is African, and then you are going to demolish somebody. This person is coming from the bottom. Every cent they had to save it, they had to reinvest it to build that house. On an overall level budget $33,000. Mfeso yo wakasevenza 9 years, wakasevenza 11 years kuti aite that achievement, and then boom, HCC, Harare City Council, Jacob Mafume chakuita tumwe tuma orders, boom, dzimba dziri kuputswa 10 dzimba, 20 dzimba, 30 dzimba, 40 dzimba, 100 families displaced, 100 families, they're now struggling, nowhere to go because of corruption. So information iri kusvika panews desk iri kuda kuti ka Jacob Mafume Harare City mayor and some other boys vakakatenderedza vari kureceive bribes from certain businessmen, from certain successful people who want, land for cheaper prices, who are coming to these guys, and turns out they are getting paid between 20 to 30,000 US dollars every month as salary from the government. 20 to 30,000 mayor muri kuiwana kupi mari iyoyo government. But unfortunately, in this regime, these are the things that are happening. So when you look at it, you start seeing the system is cracked. The system is a problem. How come it's doing stuff and nonsense like that? We are going to come back to this story and more other stories in our next broadcast. But for this one, I have to close it here. And stay tuned, stay aware. Peace.